Hi, I'm Kaylee Murphy, and I work for an organization called Stonebridge Stables. So, on the surface, we are a boarding barn, which means that people who own horses will pay us to take care of the day to day needs of horses in exchange for keeping them on our property. In reality, our barn has always had a different goal. The owner is Kim. She loves horses and has always wanted to rescue as many as she could. So, all of the profit from our boarding horses goes into her dream. Everyone in our group identifies as an animal lover, specifically an equestrian or horse lover. We work together to achieve the goal of rescuing horses and finding them forever homes. Everyone in our group is interdependent. We all depend on one another. For example, I train horses before they go to their forever home. But I wouldn't be able to do this without Candy and Valerie, who find these horses and talk to Kim and convince her to rescue them. I also wouldn't be able to do it without our vet, Rob, or our farrier, Roger. We also wouldn't be able to find them forever homes if it weren't for the network that Candy and Valerie have built on social media to help match these horses with their perfect owner. We are an interprofessional team because we are each an expert in part of the process. So Kim is an expert at feeding horses and bringing them back from the brink of death using supplements and old school methods that have been passed down through generation after generation of her family. Roger is a farrier, which, if you know anything about horses, means that he is the one who makes shoes, files the horse's nail, trims them, basically does anything necessary to get their feet healthy because their hooves are the most important part because that's what they stand on. That's the thing that needs to be strong enough for us to get them to a healthy weight and them not fall and collapse underneath that weight. He also works with Rob, who is our chiropractor. He does body work, so if you've been to a chiropractor, you know if your muscles and tendons and ligaments aren't strong enough to hold things in place, seeing a chiropractor doesn't help for a long period of time. So he does body work to get their muscles and their tendons and everything ready to handle their joints being put back where they're supposed to. Candy and Valerie run our social media, so they look for horses that need to be rescued, as well as making connections with people who are looking to rescue a horse. Lena is the final piece of our puzzle. She manages the day-to-day aspects of running a boarding barn so that Kim has the time to work with us to rescue horses. We are a pretty small, tight-knit group, and it affects our group dynamics in a lot of ways. We're all friends and we think of one another as equals, which makes it a lot easier for us to communicate, bring up concerns, or just work well with one another. We don't see it as a contest to get the horses ready to be adopted. We see it as a group project where we all are part of the puzzle and we all have to work together in order to get them in shape to be adopted. Social loafing isn't something we have to worry about because we all have specialized skills. If, for example, I decided I'm not going to train the horse, I'm going to sit around and wait for someone else to do it, we don't have another trainer, so the horse just wouldn't get trained. The same goes for if our farrier decided he didn't want to shoe a horse, or if Kim decided she didn't want to feed them supplements. We each have a specific role that none of the other people in our group could do. We have an all-channel network. Anyone within our group can talk to anyone else, and we do. Kim is everyone's boss, but she acts more like a coworker. We can come to her with any concerns, questions, ask for advice because she is older. She's like a grandma figure to everyone, and she has a lot of life skills and advice that are really helpful in a lot of situations because with working with animals, it's You never know what you're going to run into. You never know what problems might arise, and having someone who has basically seen it all is very helpful. Nobody is thought of as being lower on a totem pole because we are all essential to reaching our goal. Kim is our boss, but she doesn't micromanage each of us. We do our individual tasks, and she trusts that we can handle those and that she can focus on her individual tasks. Candy and Valerie typically only speak to Kim when purchasing a horse that they decide to rescue, but that's because Kim is the one who decides if a horse is too far gone. She's also the one who pays to purchase them, because most times you do have to pay to rescue a horse. So it's up to her if she believes that we can help and intervene in a situation, or it's going to be a waste of resources. However, when it comes time for Candy and Valerie to find these horses their forever homes, they speak with everyone. They will talk to me to see what discipline they think they will do well in. They'll talk to vets, farrier, chiropractor, Kim, to ensure that any potential owner knows of any special needs that horse is going to have. Lena typically only speaks to Kim because she runs Kim's day-to-day activities, but she also needs time off like any normal person. So she'll also talk to me because I'm the assistant barn manager and handle all of her duties whenever she's not working. We also communicate as friends, and I'm also her mentor because I'm teaching her how to do the aspects of training that I do so that I can devote more time to schoolwork and start making it to where we both are working cooperatively together on training horses. When it comes to cohesion within our group, we think of one another as family. We don't worry about hurting someone's feelings by speaking our minds. We are obviously always still respectful of one another, but we'll say what needs to be said because we aren't worried about losing a relationship with one another, because we know no matter what happens, we still are going to have each other's backs and we're still going to be family. One aspect of a cohesive team is how long individuals have stayed with the team. So Kim has been running Stonebridge Stables since 1969. Rob and Roger, our vet and farrier, have been working with her for about the past 20 years. Candy and Valerie have been working with her for roughly 15 years. I've been there for the past 12 years, and I've been training horses for her for the past 9 years. And Lena, our barn manager, has been there for the past 8 years. So we have all been devoting a lot of time to this goal for a very long time in some of our cases, and we are all very comfortable devoting a lot more time to it. We believe that we work well as a group, and we're proud of the job that we do, so none of us plan on going anywhere anytime soon. Clarity of goals has also helped us to be productive by helping to establish a timeline for how long we plan to have each rescue horse, which is important. We do have to try to consolidate the amount of time that they stay at our barn because we have to purchase them, which costs money. We have to pay for their vet care, which costs money. Farrier costs money. Me training them costs money. The food that they're eating, the stall that they're taking up takes away from a stall that could have a boarder that could be giving Kim money for us to rescue another horse. So it is important to try to keep the amount of time that our rescue horses stay at our barn as minimal as possible, but we also won't send a horse out if they're not ready to leave. So we work with the vets to kind of figure out how long each horse seems like they're going to be needing to stay at our barn. After that assessment, we have our first meeting where all of us are there and we discuss the estimated timeline. It starts with Kim giving me an estimate of how long it will take for her to put weight on these horses and get them back to a healthy weight where I can begin to work them to build up their muscles and their skills under saddle. Then whenever that time is up, I will have a meeting with her and everyone else to see about how long I think it's going to take for me to train these horses. because that can range depending on how difficult they are to train, if they've been abused in the past, or just if they're low on trust, or even if they are just at the bare minimum of training, know how to go forward, left, right, stop, but nothing else, then they have a lot that they still need to learn. Whereas if we get a horse who was retired due to medical issues that we've now solved, it's a lot easier for me to get on, work with them, give them a refresher course, and in 2 to 3 weeks, they can be with a new owner. Candy and Valerie will also speak to me during this meeting. They'll let me know if they have anybody who's already interested in purchasing a horse through us. Sometimes they are just looking for any horse that fits their family's needs. So they will tell me if they are looking for a kid-safe horse, one that's okay around dogs, one that likes trail rides, ones that like to go fast, anything that is specific to these individuals. And if I'm already working with a horse that shows potential in one of those skills, then I will start to fine-tune that. Or if I have a horse who knows the bare minimum, then I'll start to build them up so that they know those specific skills for that specific buyer. We will also have another meeting at the end whenever I'm done training them. That will be me saying roughly what level rider needs to be matched with this horse. We'll also talk to potential owners about any quirks that they might have. It could be they're weird around dogs, they like to jerk their head down to try and eat grass while you're riding, if they buck whenever they get scared. We just try to be as forthcoming as possible because we want these horses to end up with somebody who's going to keep them for the rest of their life. So we want to make sure that they have all the information that they need. And during this final meeting, Candy and Valerie will talk to Kim, the vets, the chiropractor, the farrier, and figure out all of the horse's needs and just make sure that they have a list, packet, whatever it needs to be compiled that they can give to any potential buyers saying, these are all the things that this horse needs. Here's an estimate of how much this is going to cost you monthly or yearly, so that these people can make sure that a horse is in their budget. Because we do make them sign a contract that says if anything ever happens and you can't handle this horse, you can't care for it, an emergency happens, they're required to sell the horse back to us so that we can find the horse a good home, because we don't want horses to end up at slaughter, especially after we've put all of this time and effort into saving them. So that is just a little rundown of how my day-to-day job works. If you're interested at all, we are always looking for volunteers, stall cleaners, anybody who just wants to be around horses. We would love to have you. That's all. Thank you.